All right, we'll go ahead and get started. People are going to be joining in as they can, but welcome. I am so excited. We're kicking off International Member Orientation. And what does this mean? This means if you've been a member for quite some time or new, this is kind of specially curated content and news for you, because we know computer science teachers need support all over, and I'm really excited to kind of help support you a little bit more. I'd love to do some introductions. I'll go ahead and go first because I'm the one talking. My name is Kate. I'm from the Computer Science Teachers Association. You've probably seen emails from me. My job is to help make that membership experience really great and strong. I help lead the CSTA Plus program. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but I'm here to kind of help put on webinars, orientations, and help support. But I'd love to kind of welcome a few other people that are on the call this morning. Jake, would you like to introduce yourself?
Try that again. Hey everyone, I'm Jake Baskin. I'm the Executive Director of CSTA, and really excited to be able to connect with you. I'm a former high school computer science teacher here in the Chicago Public Schools, where CSTA is based, and can't wait to learn with you all.
Awesome, thanks Jake. Jason, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi everybody, my name is Jason Bohr. I'm the Chapter Relations Manager here at CSTA. And like Jake, I'm also a former computer science high school teacher from the Northern California area.
Awesome, and I introduced myself, but again, Kate, excited to kind of lead this kind of chat this morning. And I do not have a computer science background, but my background is in kind of membership and supporting kind of international associations. Awesome, so I'm gonna go through a quick agenda and kind of go through some expectations. Perhaps you've been with CSTA for a while, you've been getting emails, but I think this is kind of a good lead to talk about re-engaging with CSTA, especially in this very strange virtual kind of time we're in now. But we're going to talk about what is CSTA about, where did it come from, where are we going. We're going to go through some membership benefits, which I think is exciting to talk about, kind of where we've come and what we're offering moving forward, going through some resources, and then we're especially going to focus, Jason, our chapter relations manager, is kind of going to give us an inside look, because we've had interest in kind of expanding to international chapters and supporting folks all over, and he's kind of go through what that process looks like. And after this orientation, either later today or tomorrow, I'm going to send out a survey, and I'd love your thoughts on what we kind of digested today, your thoughts on moving forward with international chapters, and yeah, how else we can support you. Moving on with the agenda, we're going to talk through how to engage with CSTA, different volunteer opportunities that have either minimal maybe 1 or 2 hours a month, or if there's more that you're looking for to kind of contribute, and then some takeaways and next steps. So hopefully we can get through everything within 40 minutes. I know everyone's kind of in different time zones, and thanks so much for those who are like either waking up early or a little bit later. No worries, we will share out this information, so feel free to just kind of absorb what you can this morning. Awesome. To kick it off, I'd love for our Executive Director, Jake, to kind of talk about what is CSTA and perhaps a little bit of his experience with it.
Yeah, thanks so much, Kate. And like I said before, welcome everyone. It is really wonderful to have this group together. I just wanted to take a little bit of time to talk about the history of CSTA and how we're thinking about growing as a more global organization. As some of you may know, CSTA was actually founded as a part of ACM, the Association for Computing Machinery, which is the largest professional organization in the world for computing professionals, as a way for the organization to focus on supporting K through 12 or sort of pre-secondary education in computing, and addressing the fact that around the world there's really been a lack of focus on CS or IT education. The organization was created in 2004, and about 4 years ago split off as its own standalone organization still very closely partnered with ACM. Why I'm so excited about CSTA and why I came into this role about 3 years ago now is because of the power of community that CSTA can bring together. I know in my experience teaching, I was often the only computer science teacher in my building and did not have the peers to turn to that many of my other colleagues would be able to do in other departments. And what I think is so important is that we're an organization that creates space for computer science teachers to learn with and from each other. So if nothing else, I hope that this begins to form a community where you can connect with folks nearby and around the world who are dealing with the same struggles and trying to understand some of the same new ideas about how we can teach computer science together. And the second thing that I think is so powerful about CSTA is we believe that teachers are experts and should be treated that way and should be highlighted for what they know. And so the professional learning we provide, the experiences that we try to create are all based on centering teachers as folks who can help solve problems and lead us together through the challenges in teaching computer science. So it's really exciting and cool to have such a global perspective on this call. I think historically CSTA has been very focused on the US and North America and has done almost everything for the English speaking world. And we're really thinking about ways that we can broaden that work. The last call I'd say to this group is please share your ideas, share your suggestions, and let us know when there are things we could do better to help you all, because there's really incredible opportunity for us to start thinking about how our reach can expand and learn together. So with that, I will turn it back over to Kate and just say wonderful to have you all here.
Thanks, Jake. Appreciate that. Yeah, again, we're just also excited that you're here. And I think if I didn't note is just a couple housekeeping things is throughout this presentation, if you have any questions, concerns, go ahead and drop them in the chat. We will do our best to kind of respond to them. At the end of this, we also have time for a Q&A. Other kind of housekeeping things is I am recording this just so we can kind of make sure we reach everyone that wasn't able to kind of attend today. And then the other thing is we will share out the slide deck. So don't worry if you miss any information, we'll make sure that we share that information out. Okay, awesome. All right. So moving on is, again, this is a presentation that's welcome to anyone at any stage of their membership. And I just kind of wanted to go through what to kind of expect with CSTA and the opportunities to kind of take advantage of that membership a little bit further. So when you become a CSTA member, and as Jake said, we've been around for since 2004, is we've changed quite a bit in the past couple of years in kind of developing our reach and what PD we're offering. And especially in the past few years, our focus has been on equity in computer science and how we can reach those kind of underserved students and connect them with computer science and make sure we're supporting teachers equally. So with your membership, here's what to expect, right? We have an online profile, which you're able to log in. I would like to think of this as kind of like your online business card. And I'll touch on kind of why this is important in a couple later slides. But if you haven't logged in, I would, encourage after this call or when you have time to log in and update any information that you have on there, right? How many years you've been teaching, your contact information, to make sure that we're giving you the opportunity to get that PD and connect with other teachers. Moving forward, this is what to expect. Latest industry news and updates is CSTA, for example, recently pushed out a survey in the spring to kind of get that collective feedback and find out more information how we can better serve computer science teachers. Other opportunities is engagement and networking opportunities. Jason's going to talk a little bit about chapters in a couple slides, but something new we've been offering are engage meetups, which we are still kind of finalizing what the format and times are for those, but those are opportunities monthly that are free PD events. They're an hour and a half in which there's time to network, so connect with other teachers, get a little PD, and we're kind of thinking about where that's going to go. And other things to expect is, a supportive team at CSTA. As Jake said, we've been traditionally kind of North American focused, but we are definitely working to grow and expand and support. And what does that mean? Materials in different languages, materials sent out in time zones that work for you, as well as kind of thinking about what resources would be most beneficial for different audiences, across the world. So we're definitely thinking about those things. And as Jake mentioned, we welcome your feedback. This is a dialogue in which we can both grow and continue to kind of develop together. Awesome. I just want to kind of review some of the opportunities and resources that we send out in terms of written material. We have a CSTA weekly bulletin that goes out. What this is it's a bulletin that goes out once a week, usually on Thursdays, about news from CSTA, as well as news traditionally from North America, but we're looking into kind of how to expand that. But that is something right away, is if you're getting that and kind of absorbing that, is something to expect on your membership. Other things I'd like to point out is The Voice. This is kind of our great publication. It goes out the first Saturday of every month, and this is specially created content for our members. It's about what's going on in the organization. It's about how to get involved. So for example, the next one that's going out is this Saturday. It's going to be about the opportunities perhaps for conference, right? A recap from the summit. You'll tune in to see what it's about, but really great resource, what to expect, and it's free with your membership. CSTA emails and communications is when we're having conferences, virtual summits, and other events, is you're going to get emails about this. Since we've moved into this virtual world, is our conference actually was virtual in July. And I'll talk about, if you missed it, how to tune in to all those different videos and kind of recap that experience. Next thing I want to point out is, like I mentioned, the CSTA Plus membership is there are a few publications associated with that. One of them is kind of a technical literature magazine for computer science teachers and research. That comes along with your Plus membership, as well as a newsletter that I help write that goes out monthly. I don't know if there's any Plus members on the call, but I'll talk about what Plus membership is and if it's worth it to you, okay? And then other things is make sure to check out our social media. I would say probably most active in terms of finding out most information is on our Twitter, and that's kind of a great place to kind of get information and see what's going on with the association. Great. All right, next slide, I'm going to talk about csteachers.org. Like I mentioned, one takeaway from this call is to log in and see what you need to update on your profile, because that's going to be very important in the next month or so, and we'll kind of do a reveal at the end of this call. But thinking about the csteachers.org is that login is your business card, right? So if you're looking to connect with other teachers in your area, a great way to have that updated is to have a picture, right? So perhaps a picture from your school, and then as well as having updated information you'd like to be reached at. I would like to call out that we have an events calendar. I don't know how many of you have kind of found that out, but that is an opportunity to see when we have upcoming virtual conferences as virtual summits as well. We are moving forward to have webinars and things at more convenient times for those outside of North America, so stay tuned. As well as on csteachers.org, we have all sorts of resources and professional development available, and you don't even have to log in. Some of those materials are available right off the bat. Great. All right, so this is just a quick little snapshot of things we talked about. I'm going to show my screen because I am a visual person, just so we can kind of reiterate what those next steps are. Okay, so bear with me and don't judge all my tabs, but I'll go ahead and show my member dashboard. Hopefully everyone can see it okay. And so this is what I see when I log in, right? And so if you want to edit your profile, right? So I have this beautiful logo here, is I'm going to go ahead and click Edit Profile. And it's going to take me to a screen where I can change so much information, right? I can change my my picture here. I can change my personal information, my contact information, and if I need to reset my login information. I can also see how long my membership is good for and what type of membership I have. So just kind of wanted to show that I'm a visual person, and a great way to kind of be able to navigate, making sure I'm getting the information I need. Other things on this login screen I'd like you to kind of review is is when we go back to if you are a Plus member, being able to review. Sorry about that, we're all over the place here. If you're a Plus member, you're able to scroll down and be able to click and view your benefits once you're logged in. So thanks for bearing with me with that. So we're going to go back to our slide deck here, and I'm going to talk about different types of membership. Why I'm doing this is in case anything has changed in terms of your needs, but I think this is a nice visual in terms of taking in what is basic membership, what is Plus membership. To give a little bit of context around Plus membership, you can see up here, any member can join for free, right? And this is because we know in terms of accessibility that teachers are not paid enough or are perhaps unable to afford that higher price. So to give some information on this is the Plus membership, right, came out of about 2 years ago. And essentially when you pay for Plus membership, and I'm not selling anything today, I'm just giving information, is that Plus membership, 50% of those dues help support our equitable programs. So what we do to move forward kind of that needle in the classroom in terms of our honor societies, our equity fellowship, as well as supporting chapters. And it's a really great opportunity to kind of invest in yourself. We know sometimes this cost isn't available, so it's just information today. I would like to kind of go through a couple of these things. I don't know if anyone on the call attended conference. If you did, shout out, but is, for example, the annual conference that happened in July. For Plus members, the cost was $75, right? US dollars. The cost to attend the annual conference, if you weren't a Plus member, was $125. So right off the bat, opportunities with CSTA is you're getting a significant discount with the Plus membership. Other things I'd just like to take away in terms of this slide is when you join as a Plus member, you get significant discounts on PD and opportunities to first learn about scholarships, awards, and grants. So just kind of keep that in your back pocket. I'm going to go ahead on my next slide and show a few examples of free benefits that I'd love you to take advantage of now, and then just that inside look on what Plus is, just so you know what else is out there. Okay? Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead to the CSTA teachers page. And if you haven't been here for a while, check it out. There's definitely some new resources. And so how I got to this page was I went to, it's a little early for me here, is I went to CS Standards and Resources, and I went to COVID-19 resources here. So please let me know if you've checked out this page before. We are updating it because this has been since the spring, right? We're all navigating hybrid or in-person or virtual teaching. This is a collective resource page on information about teaching around, virtual teaching, teaching about the coronavirus, and some really great opportunities to kind of make sure your online teaching is going well and to how to assess it. I will say the nice thing about this page is it points out some free trials and some free resources to help strengthen that virtual teaching. Awesome. All right, and then the other thing I'd like to point out in terms of basic and kind of free resources is anything under the CS Standards and Resources tab here is I would say go ahead and check it out and kind of get more information about what you're looking for. Professional development opportunities is a tab that's fairly new in terms of an independent committee kind of reviewed opportunities for professional development. I would say the great takeaway from this page is you're able to filter based on what your needs are. So if you're looking for some free classroom resource or PD right now, is you can go to this page, click free, maybe my grade band is elementary, and right off the bat, I can see that these opportunities have been reviewed by an independent committee, and I can go right to the provider website. The cost is, there's free curriculum on here. Tinker's offering free PD. Really great opportunity to kind of navigate this. So if there's any questions around these pages, feel free to drop it in the chat. But I'd love to show kind of what that plus benefit page is. So this is something where everything's tied in when you log in. So if you are a plus member, you're able to see a bit more details. But anyone at any point can go under the membership tab, review individual membership to see that chart we looked at, right? Or click on CSTA Plus benefits. So on this page, beyond being able to support the association and equity, is you get a whole bunch of really great benefits. And you know how I mentioned with the conference earlier this year, is if you missed it, you're able to access all videos from the conference, which is great if you're a plus member. And I'm just gonna show a quick preview of that so you can see, well, what kind of videos are there? Perhaps I'm interested in just kind of seeing what's available, is if you scroll down, and this is available if you're a plus member, is if you scroll down, you're actually able to toggle by different grade bands, so subjects by grade bands, resources if I'm looking for a slide deck or for videos, different CS terms, so perhaps I'm looking for something, all of these are available here, but I think the point of showing you this here is the opportunities are kind of a little bit higher if you're looking for more connection and PD with the plus benefits. So really great conference, and if you missed it, no worries, you're able to catch up with these videos. The other thing I wanted to point out in this benefit directory is there's about 13 or 14 benefits on here, but it's continuously growing. And in being mindful of our audiences, I kind of help cultivate this, is something to check out is Plethora is with CSTA Plus is you get a 2-month free trial. It's kind of a gamification platform. It comes in multiple languages. It's out of Israel, and we worked very closely to kind of bring this opportunity to our audience. And we're mindful that not everyone is looking for things in English. So again, this is just a quick review of what plus benefits are. You're able to toggle by the category, and I would define these as free PD, discounted PD, or perhaps a trial in something you're interested in. If you have any questions, we'll have my contact information at the end of the slide deck, as well as feel free to drop it in the chat right now. Awesome. Great. All right, I'm going to continue on. I like bouncing back and forth a little bit. All right, great. So I think now this is a really great space for Jason to talk about CSTA chapters, and especially talking about what chapters are in the international sphere, and kind of what's been happening, what we're looking for, and maybe that's something that's right for you. Jason, would you like to kick us off?
Sure, thanks, Kate. I'm going to primarily explain how chapters have been working in the United States and Canada as a background, and then hopefully that sparks some conversation after today about starting, piloting some international chapters. So you see here that chapters are based on 3 pillars: building community, providing professional development and support, and establishing some operational foundation. Next slide, please, Kate. That first element, building community, you'll see we're talking about having regular activities, looking at member satisfaction, recruiting members, retaining members, and having membership representation at both your chapter level and at your national or international level in this case. Next. As far as providing professional development and support, we like chapters to be able to begin with that networking and let that grow into where teachers can provide professional development for one another, sharing what works for them in classrooms and sharing resources that they've found and used to their benefit. Next. And finally, as far as establishing operational foundations, we have some foundational documents like bylaws that we can provide a template for that you can use in starting your chapter. We like chapters to have leaders, president, vice president, or however chapters decide to go that route. We provide a web presence for chapters, a place I think some of you have seen some of the chapter websites that are out there. Your relationship with us at CSTA National, or maybe we should call ourselves CSTA International now. And then some finances and fundraising that would be different with international chapters than it is with our US and Canadian chapters. Next, please. This is from our website on the Start a Chapter page. I'll share a link for that in a little bit. But it goes over what we look for and what chapters must have when they're forming. And then on the right is what we expect chapters to do once they are a chapter. Now, some of this may be different at the international level because schools and operating systems are different, you know, where you are compared to where we are. But we do follow that chapter success rubric that's linked there, and I can share a link to that as well as a way to kind of guide your chapter and grow your chapter. Next, please.
Yes.
In exchange for what we're asking, which we know it's quite a bit because especially teachers are often in a volunteer position when leading a chapter or forming a chapter, we provide these benefits specifically for chapters. Like you can see, you know, you will get the CSTA name and creation of a logo for your chapter, the website that we discussed a little bit, access to our promotional materials, and we have a leadership summit for chapter leaders in the fall right before our conference, and we're talking about expanding that even to a mid-year chapter leader summit. So you get lots of support from our end for what we're asking from you. And I think there's one more slide, Kate. So there's a link in the slide deck and that you'll get from Kate later on that includes the chapter formation application from our website. These are the big 6 things that we're looking for when chapters form. You know, a defined geographic boundary, a name reflective of the region, the templatized bylaws that I discussed a little bit earlier, and having at least 10 founding members as a way to start, you know, somewhere to grow. It's really hard to grow a chapter if you only have the 3 or 4 leaders in place. We're looking for representation across all age and grade bands. So not just, you know, what we call high school age teachers, you know, for 15 to 18-year-olds, but we're looking really for the whole grade band, you know, starting with early elementary, our terminology, all the way through college age. And then we're looking for a plan, you know, finally, when you're forming your chapter, a plan to have at least 4 meetings or events within the 12 months of formation, because we find that chapters are most successful if they have a plan for at least 4 meetings or events rather than forming the chapter and then trying to organize it. And again, I can help with all of this as we go through the chapter formation process. And I'm excited by all the talk in the chat about people looking to form chapters. It'll probably be easiest to do that offline off this call. Again, I'll share my email and we can start that conversation. So thanks for everybody for being here. We appreciate it. And thanks, Kate, for giving me the time to talk a little bit about chapters.
Yeah, of course. And I think, as I mentioned, we're going to send out kind of that follow-up email with a survey. And if you're looking at that information about chapters and you're like, oh, this is not how my school is set up, this is not how my region of school is set up, is we can work with you and we are here to support you because we know that sense of community is incredibly important. And if you're interested, if you have that spark of interest for a chapter, go with that spark and, you know, reach out to us with an email, because we're here to kind of meet you halfway and figure out what we can do to help support those international chapters, because we know the structure is different. So moving on from that, I think this is a great kind of slide to highlight with, you know, we've talked about membership and kind of that engagement of like at the chapter level. Is I'd like to talk a little bit about programs and that aspect of kind of engaging with CSTA. I'm going to go ahead and actually show the page of where you can kind of check out a bit more information. When I say engage, this is an opportunity to kind of volunteer or to kind of work with either programs, committees, or other opportunities to kind of give back to the CS community. And I'll talk a little bit more about what that means. So when I go to, when I go to the main CSTA page, I'm going to go under the About tab, and then I'm going to click Engage with CSTA. This page is fairly new as of this summer here, and so this is a page to kind of think about is I'd like to get a little bit more involved in supporting, other computer science teachers, or I'm looking to maybe like build my resume and I'd like to kind of volunteer a little bit within the CS realm. This is a perfect place for you to kind of take in that information because we have volunteer opportunities that are anywhere from 1 to 2 hours a month to even more. And especially as we think of our membership, is we like to make sure that we're including, everyone, right? And that your voice is being heard from, different countries and perspectives. So scrolling down on this page is we have opportunities to, serve as a CSTA member ambassador. What this means is helping support that membership process. Perhaps you're, matched with another new member, kind of that mentoring. This is also an opportunity to help with orientations if you're interested in that. Other opportunities is to help serve on a committee. I'm still taking, applications for the membership committee. So anytime you look at something on this page and you want to find out more information or maybe start an application, just click on the, complete an application or volunteer button under each opportunity. Scrolling down, we're going to talk about conference in a couple minutes, but as I said, we have an annual conference every year. And if this is something you're interested in contributing to, so our next one's going to be July 2021, yes, is think about, maybe I want to submit a proposal, right? And what this means is I want to have an idea to present a workshop or a session at the upcoming conference, or I don't have time for that, but I'm interested in seeing what's out there. That's what it means to become a reviewer, is you would actually get to look at the proposals that are out there and give your voice and opinion to say, yes, this is something that computer science teachers would want to see, right? So really important and kind of an interesting, creative way to give back. Other opportunities on here is, I love this opportunity, is we have several CSTA awards available. So this is where you can, apply for award or nominate someone. They're either, recognition opportunities or they have stipends associated with them. Is perhaps you want to apply, right? Or you're interested in becoming a reviewer. What this means is you would be able to look at different applications for these awards and say, yes, I think this person, matches the criteria in terms of their application on the rubric. So really great opportunities to kind of give back or expand that perspective and maybe get some ideas for your classroom as well. We get that feedback a lot when you become a reviewer for proposals or for awards is, oh my gosh, that would be a great activity for my elementary school teachers. That would be a great activity for, expanding equity in my classroom. So lots of different opportunities on here. I encourage you to check it out when you have time. It's under the About CSTA tab, Engage with CSTA. Awesome. All right, we're going to go ahead and bounce back and kind of help tie in things that we're talking about here today. Here we go. I talked about awards, and as I said, awards, we have several ones that are available, but check out our page. Again, I'll go ahead and send this slide deck afterwards, but really a great opportunity to get your self-recognition, recognize other great teachers that are doing the work, and get support through recognition or a stipend. So I encourage folks to apply or to become a reviewer for those. Awesome. I mentioned the committees on that Engage page, but committees are open to anyone, right? And so right now where I'm looking for support is we still have a few spots on our membership committee, and I would love to have perspectives if you're somewhere and you have the time and capacity, is there's no harm in applying, and perhaps it starts that conversation of, this is what I can give back to computer science teachers, this is what I'm interested in. That perspective is incredibly valuable, and we're so glad that you're here. The other thing I just wanted to wrap up is with conference, there's several ways to get involved. join as a participant. Next year, we're planning an in-person conference, but it might be virtual. We should know in the next couple months or so. But kind of think about that. July 2021 is another opportunity is to watch videos. There's over hundreds and hundreds of hours of PD available from the 2020 conference. And it primarily focused, on a lot of different concepts in CS, but also equity in CS and talking about those hard topics with your students, other teachers, and making sure you're having inclusive teaching. Moving forward is volunteer to help select proposals or submit a proposal for yourself. We had over almost 3,000 registrants for the 2020 conference, and I think we're only going to continue to grow, and lots of international members actually joined for previous conferences and this virtual conference, so we'd love to see you get a little involved with that. Awesome. And then this is just a recap slide of, hey, I'm interested, maybe those conference videos. This is what it looks like if you're logged in and a Plus member and you want to access all those videos and slide decks. It's also a great opportunity to kind of grow within your district or region and kind of talk about new PD or new things you can do in your classroom. Awesome. So most exciting slide is, remember when I was talking about logging in and updating your information, is we're actually updating two things that are probably really important, especially in this day and age. Is one, we're launching a CSTA job board, and this job board is going to have, it's free for folks to use and apply for jobs, and it's jobs that are all over. Right? So jobs in computer science, or perhaps that are relative using those skills, that's going to be launched in the next month, and it's free for members to use. So very exciting. The next thing is, we know right even now in the chat there's conversations going on, is making those connections is incredibly valuable. And so CSTA is actually launching a discussion board. So what this is when you log into your account, you'll be able to see various discussion groups based on grade band, interest, and perhaps even, as we grow country or region, that you can go ahead and have conversations and threads with teachers in your own area or that are also in your grade band. We know this is incredibly important. So to kind of prepare for that is update your profile and make sure you're reading update emails about when it's coming. Okay, great. So I think that was quite a bit of information, but we did great on time today because I know we're all taking in a lot of information either online or in the news. And so these are some next steps here to think about. Is I would really encourage you to log in, check out some of those resources I pointed out, update your profile picture, and make sure your email is correct. Next thing is, if you need support with your membership, if you have questions about Plus membership, questions around, I have other teachers in my district and we're interested in Plus, or my region, but maybe it's not affordable, is shoot me an email, right? There's no harm in that. And I think having that conversation about what we can do and work for you with is incredibly valuable. Moving forward is, if you want to start a CSTA chapter, or maybe you started an application and you're like, I didn't get 10 people, but I think I might work if I can connect with other CSTA members, in a particular region, is we can help start those conversations. We've worked with, chapters that have started that say, hey, I'd like you to help send me an email to others in this region, is we can partner with you on that. So Jason is at chapters@cstateachers.org. Feel free to shoot him an email. Other things, just a quick recap, is to find a volunteer role on that Engage page. And I would also like to point out that COVID page. Make sure you're checking it out and getting the resources for free, because that's only going to be continuously updated. And then most excitingly is that job board and online discussion groups are going to be launched in the next month or so, so stay tuned.